All right, the Sermon on the Mount begins with the Beatitudes. And I love how Robert Schuller once said, these are the Beatitudes. These are attitudes that we should cultivate. But I've come to think that maybe not all of the Beatitudes are attitudes we should cultivate. I think the first 4 describe the reality on our planet where there's pain and brokenness in the world. So I share with you from the Common English Bible, the first 4 Beatitudes, and I'd like to invite you to join me in reading them together. So let's say them together. Happy are people who are hopeless, because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Happy are people who grieve, because they will be made glad. Happy are people who are humble, because they will inherit the earth. Happy are people who are hungry and thirsty for righteousness, because they will be fed until they are full. What we find in the Beatitudes, in these first 4 in particular, is not a state that we should ascribe to. It's a state of what happens in the world. Nobody should be praying, God, please help me be hopeless. And when you read these other ones, of course, it says poor in spirit in the traditional translation here. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed, happy, either way, you're looking at a positive state. And yet for those people in that moment, they are not in a positive state. And poor in spirit, many people take to mean humble. But I think the CEB is right. These are people who have lost all sense of spirit. Like they feel hopeless in the particular moment that they're living in. And then those who grieve, and the word can signify bewailing or moaning or groaning or such overwhelming pain, not just from the death of a loved one, but from a whole host of things in our lives that bring pain to us. And happy are the humble, but the humble here are those who are pushed down, those who are humbled, the people who are the lowly. That's who he's talking to. Happy are the lowly. And then happy are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. I always took that to mean that you have an attitude in which you're hungering and thirsting for righteousness. Righteousness here is also the Greek word for justice. And I think what it's saying is the people who longed for, they hungered for justice, they didn't get it. They were the people who were on the wrong end of the stick when it came to justice or righteousness. And in all of these cases, he's saying you can be happy today, happy, not the warm, fuzzy feeling we have, but a sense of well-being. If you trust that in the kingdom of God, there's a great reversal that's coming. And those of you who are experiencing hopelessness now will know hope in the future. You'll inherit the kingdom of heaven.